Make sure you stick around until the end to see how you can win free gear and products. Hey, this is PJ with CLK Supplies. If you lose your spacing blocks for your Framin 2 code machine, are you out of luck? Let's find out. So here's the deal. One of the most common questions about the Framin 2 key machine has to do with those little spacing blocks, right? They're little, there's a bunch of them, or really not a bunch, but a handful. And what happens if one rolls off the bench and you can't find it? Are you out of luck? Can you still cut the key? Well, the answer is yes. And it's actually not as hard as you think. As a matter of fact, the little spacing blocks, all they really do is they're like little quick cheats to make it really quick for you. So this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna go to the whiteboard, we're gonna talk about it for a minute, and then we're gonna cut a key without the space blocks. And I'm gonna actually recut the Y11 key for the toolbox right here. And the reason I'm going to do that is because if you're not too familiar with this machine, I want you to be able to go watch that video, okay? See how it works with that spacing block, and then come back and watch this one as I cut it without. And I really hope, my goal here is that by the end of this video, worrying about having a spacing block or not is a thing of the past, all right? Although it's nice to have, you can definitely get by without it. So let's go ahead over to the whiteboard here for a minute and we'll get that key cut. Now, what I'm about to go over is really true for anything when it comes to the Framin machine, okay? So the principles here are going to apply, although we're doing it on a really simple Y11 key for the toolbox sitting right here, okay? But just hang in there with me. You're gonna understand this, and it's really simple, and let's just get right into it. So anytime you look at the spacing and depth information, even when you look at like a HPC card, you're gonna see where it has these spacing increments on it, okay? For this code series, that increment is a 0.0970, okay? And if you look at the Framin data for it, okay, it's gonna want you to use the number 5 spacing block. And I'll go over why in just a second, but let's just go through this for a second, and you'll understand it, you'll know it, it's real simple. Here we go. So the spacing is a 0.0970, okay? And what I did is I wrote out the actual spaces here that are listed for this code series, okay? The first one's the 0.125, that's where we're setting our first spacing depth before we use the spacing block. Right, but then the second's a 0.222, then a 0.319, 0.416, 0.513. Now, all this spacing information up here is telling you, okay, is that 0.0970 is the difference between the first and the second space is a 0.0970, okay? And same with the space from the second to the third space. That's also going to be that same 0.0970. I don't know why I have a hard time saying that, but each space. So all that's telling you is the spacing difference between each one of these spaces is a 0.0970. So is what Framin did with their little spacing blocks here is they just made it quick and easy for you. And now this is my drawing here. It's not the best technical drawing, but come on now. And is what we're looking at here is I put right here, you'll see like the 097 on the 5. And they put these little marks on it, right? The little white marks. All they did is they made it so once you have it lined up on one of them and you need to go to the second space, it's just automatically moving it over to the next space, which is going to be a 0.0970 space difference. So to do this without this spacing block is totally doable. It's just you have to think a little more. And so what's going to happen is you're going to go from, once you set up to the 0.125, the next space you're going to have to go up to the 0.222, which is going to require you just to keep turning it and keep track of it. So at the end of the day, do you need the Framin space bars? Well, the answer is no, but they're sure nice to have, kind of like a candy bar, right? So let's go and let's head on over to the machine and let's go ahead and get this key cut without using this space bar. All right, so we're gonna take that information now and we're gonna put it into practice. And like I said, I'm gonna be using this Y11 key. I'm gonna be using the toolbox here because it's one that you've seen me do the proper way or the easy way here on the Framing Machine. And now I want to do it this way. And of course we want to be able to test it, right? It's no fun to do these type of videos if we don't test and make sure it works. So without further ado here, let's go ahead. Now, if you're not familiar with the video where I actually cut this key for the toolbox, it'll be in the links in the notes. It'll be a link in the notes below here, but you can see this is space block number 5 that we'd be using, and that's the 097. So if you're not familiar with that, go and watch that either before or after this. Make sure you're on the same page. Now, like I said, this can feel like it gets complicated, but it's really not, okay? And we're gonna walk through this together. We're gonna have some fun. So I'm gonna get the key put in here. Now the tip stop is the same on the top and the bottom, so I can just go and put this in here. I'll line it up on the bottom tip stop, get it put in here. We're good to go there. Now, so what we're gonna do, right, is we gotta zero the machine out, which looks like I already just did while I was talking there. So at this point, we gotta go to the first space, right, which is a 0.125. So let's do this together here. One full turn like that is a 0.050. So we'll do one more. That's gonna be a 0.100. So now we just gotta go up 25. So there we go to 25. Now we're at our first step. Now this is typically, right, where we put this block in, adjust it to 097, and adjust it in like this. And then go ahead and we just put the spaces in, or the depths in, and go and cut the key to each space. No big deal. But we're not doing that in this video because I want to prove that it's not that difficult to do and nothing that you should fear. So, no, the tricky part is getting this back out without messing up where my spacing is. So let's, there we go. Okay, all right, there we go. Okay, so we're here to put the 0.125. Now our first cut, just like last time before, is a 0.250. So we're gonna go and dial this in to 0.250. Right there, looking at the cheat sheet, go to the little cheater here, then look right there for the 0. Turn the machine on, and we're gonna go ahead and cut it. Okay, so that's a nothing cut, right? So it doesn't matter. Now typically, we would just go right to the second space, turn the machine on or keep it on and just hit it really quick. But we're not doing that because we're not using the space block. So now, through the video or through the, when I went through the process, right, the spacing is the 0.097. So what we need to do now to go to the second space is rotate, how I view it, okay, is I'm gonna rotate it twice, back off 3, and that's gonna get us to that 0.097, right? Because each full turn is going to be a 0.050. So here we go, let's do this together here. So let's go to 25 again. Okay, so that's 0.050. Do it one more time. That's gonna get us right at 100. I'm gonna go back 3, okay, to get to that 0.097 space. Now we already have this set up. The next cut is a 1, so we can go ahead and cut it. Which is a nothing as well, right? So no big deal. All right, so now we need to go another 0.97 to the next. Okay, so now we're at 22. So we're gonna go twice to 22, back it off 3, okay? Just like we did before. So here we go. There's 22. There's 22. Now we're gonna back it off 3. All right, now we need to dial into the number 4 depth, which is a 190. So we're gonna get over here to 0, that right on the 200. We're gonna back it off 10 to 190. Let's go and make that cut. All right, so now remember, we're here at 19. Now we need to go to a 097 again, up. So we're gonna do two full rotations to 19, then I'm gonna back it off 3 to get to that 0.097. Here we go. So 19. Just like that, let's go and make that cut. Which is also a number 4. Now we just have one more 4 and we're done here. Okay, so here we go. So we're at 16 right now. 2 full rotations to 16. Back off 3. Here we go. 1, 2, back off 3. We'll make that last number 4. All right, and there you have it. Now, of course, we got to go over and try the key because it's really not fun to do this if we can't try the key and make sure it works, right? It's the whole point. Let's go over and check it out. All right, so here we are, the moment of truth. Did I put the correct spacing in? Now, right, as you can see, it is not hard to do, but you do have to concentrate and go through the paces, and depending on what it is, develop something like I did. Go to 100, back off 3. But let's see if it worked. Come on. Here we go. It works. I'd love to know what you think in the comments below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. I'm guessing if you just watched this video that you work with locks and keys. And to us here at CLK Supplies, that makes you a lock boss. And we want to hook you up. Here's how it works. Throughout the week, we post videos on YouTube, like the one you just watched. And all you need to do is comment on the videos and include the hashtag LockBoss. When you do this, you're automatically entered in to win one of 5 free prizes that we give out each and every week. No purchase necessary. So if you're a lock boss, join us each week to learn, grow, and win.